Yeah. Listen. How many finger guns you gonna aim at me? We all get to point you a shooter, that's the apogee. Your surgical remover of life, that's hysterectomy. Maybe I don't see this as a test, don't start correcting me. Especially with your fallacies, most of us can only see through scopes of generalities. When niggas say it's up, all I can think about is gravity. It's gotta go down, so if it's death, I take my mic, I'm going underground. Sick with it, patiently waiting, I see you masked up. Do anything for money and clout, cause you gassed up. Now I could be wrong, and I ain't trying to prolong, but these images you project and keep us singing the sad songs. The love of money is the root of all evil, so every time you draw us for blood, like a needle, I just have to paint the picture, so I definitely need an easel, so you can see deceptions and the depth of all perceptions, misdirections, the tricks to keep you put behind bars, cause a lion won't be a king if he don't fight through the scars. Say that I can feel your pain like you poke voodoo dolls, and putting our hands on y'all will not further the cause. Pause. Systematic oppression and the dissection keeps us in the circle of circumspection for our protection, and because of our complexion, no power, no connection, they will question your honor while we stand in objection. How many finger guns you gonna aim at me? We all get to point you a shooter, that's the apogee. Your surgical remover of life, that's hysterectomy. AB, I don't see this as a test, don't start correcting me. How many finger guns you gonna aim at me? We all get to point you a shooter, that's the apogee. Your surgical remover of life, that's hysterectomy. AB, I don't see this as a test, don't start correcting me. If I was you, I see why you'd be mad at me. Inherited the pedigree, the school of practicality, focused on reality, illuminating tragedy. No time to be coy, you niggas murderers, revenge bring us tears of joy. Fresh broad red strokes of infrared beams, symbolisms you learn while enforcing the catechism. You claim to love your people, but champions of division, creating your own isms, thus makes you a schism. No matter how you slice it, it's like you hit a lick but couldn't determine what the price is. Pointing finger guns because death is what suffices. Freely a shooter, but yet a slave to these devices. I'm just speaking real. How many of us traumatized for you to rise? Guess you aiming for the Pulitzer Prize that's in the sky. Hope it's worth the sacrifice of your brothers and all the mothers that cry because you felt like your people were fit to die. How many finger guns you gonna aim at me? We all get to point you a shooter, that's the apogee. Your surgical remover of life, that's hysterectomy. AB, I don't see this as a test, don't start correcting me. How many finger guns you gonna aim at me? We all get to point you a shooter, that's the apogee. Your surgical remover of life, that's hysterectomy. AB, I don't see this as a test, don't start correcting me. Yeah.
Chicago faces an epidemic of gun violence. This year alone, more than 2,100 people have been shot, more than 400 killed.
The U.S. has recorded its highest increase in rates of homicide in modern history.
I know people who can't walk from their house to the store without a gun on them.
Why is that a reality? Why do people feel like they have to have a gun on them?
Because people getting killed left and right. It's sad.
I got shot twice now. I could have been gone, but I'm still here, so that's God, you know, that's what, so it's hell on earth. Yeah.
It's hell on earth?
Yeah, it's hell on earth.
All right, clap it up. Shalom, Israel, with the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the Commanding General Yohana. This is Austin's ISUPK Austin Tuesday night Brotherhood class. Okay? Brotherhood and sisterhood is a weapon because brotherhood and sisterhood is what we're going to use to heal and rebuild our nation. All right? Brotherhood and sisterhood, us coming together, us gathering together under this banner here in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, that is what's going to save so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay? So we have to come together. And why is brotherhood and sisterhood so important? You might need somewhere to stay. You might need somewhere to lay your head. If you got a brother or sister you could call on, you could have a roof over your head. You might need some food in your belly. You might need a shirt on your back. So that's how we heal our nation. That's how we build, by coming together, by showing absolute brotherhood and really unifying. You see, the so-called blackity blacks, they love talking about unifying, but they have no unity because they are for self-gain. That's why here in the Israelite School of UPK, we unify, we unite right here under this banner with each other. People from different walks, people from everywhere, but they all are a part of this one nation, the body of Israel. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about the Lord being a man for the Lord is a man of war. That is tonight's title, and this is important to learn because you have to learn and be prepared for the fight. All right, you know, you think your only fight is right down the street is Lakeisha. But no, you have an oppressor that is against you. You have an oppressor that does everything in his will and in his power to destroy you. And he does it on all levels. All right. He doesn't just fight the war with one weapon. Okay. So we got to come to our power, which is these laws, statutes, and commandments, following under Yahushua. Okay. But the Lord is a man of war. And tonight, we're going to get that. We're going to understand some things, and maybe this will help you understand why the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge is so militant. It's because we are the Lord's army. We are the host. Give me Exodus 12 and 41.
Book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 41.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years.
All right.
Even the self same day it came to pass that all the hosts of the Lord.
All the what?
All of the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt.
Okay, so after we served in that hard bondage there, the Lord brought us out. He said he brought us out by our host. Okay. The host means army. The Lord brought us out by our armies. Okay, that's why we are the Lord's army. Okay, read that one more time.
And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years.
All right, you can stop there. You can stop there, and just like you see, there's an end. There's an end right here. It says to the end of the 430 years. Well, there's going to be an end to this oppression too. There's going to be a stop put to this when Yahushua and the angels come back and deliver the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. All right, continue reading.
Even the self same day, it came to pass that all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt.
And host meaning army, okay? And we was delivered out of the land of Egypt, okay? Just like we will be delivered here, but we will be delivered through war. That's how you think they want to just let us go? You think your oppressor wants to just let you go when you're building his nation, when you're funding his armies, when you're bringing him all of your revenue? Okay, when he has his foot on your neck, when he has complete control of you, he controls you with the media. All of our daughters want to be Cardi B, want to be Nicki Minaj, want to be who else? Megan Thee Stallion, right? All our young men what all our sons want to be is a little baby, the baby, you know. So we got to give our kids, you know, something else to look at, because the people behind the scenes controlling your oppressor, he is doing everything to keep you down. Okay. Give me Exodus 12 and 51.
Book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 51. And it came to pass the self same day that the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies.
Out of what?
By their armies.
By their armies. This is the precept, you know, right? Going right down. Okay, read that one more time.
And it came to pass the self same day that the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies.
You see, the Lord brought us out by our armies. He delivered the children of Israel. That's exactly what he's going to do again. Okay? Give me Exodus 15:1.
Book of Exodus, chapter 15 and verse 1.
And hold on 1 second. Let me share my screen and let me make sure I could get everybody there. All right, give me 1 second. Bear with me. Share that. All right, go ahead.
Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto Moses, unto the Lord, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord.
I will do what?
I will sing to the Lord.
Okay. He said, then sang Moses to the children of Israel a song unto the Lord, spake and saying, I will sing unto the Lord. Well, let's see if what they're going to be singing is Oh Happy Day, or Never Would Have Made It, or any of those other songs of rhetoric. Okay, continue reading.
For he hath triumphed gloriously, the horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea.
Okay, stop there. All right, it says that it says these are the songs that we sang about. Okay, it says that we sing about triumphed gloriously. All right, and throwing the horse and his rider into the sea. We know that happened. Okay, so these is the songs we sang. We wasn't singing songs like we like it's already like we already just great and good and saved and sanctified and all that. And that's the problem. You singing these feel good songs that make you think God loves everybody, and you don't know that your oppressor is the devil. You don't know that your oppressor is killing you on all fronts. You don't know that you don't have nobody to care and look out for you. Okay? Go ahead and continue reading.
Verse 2. The Lord is my strength and song. And he is become my salvation. He is my God. And I will prepare him an habitation, my father's God, and I will exalt him.
It said the Lord is my strength and song. Okay, so when you think of these hymns or whatever that Christians be singing, they're not singing about no strength. All right, in their song. I don't care if they're talking about I never would have made it or overcoming, because Christians overcome absolutely nothing. Okay, what the hell do they overcome when they satisfied and take pleasure in their lust? Okay, continue reading.
Book of Exodus chapter 15 and verse 3.
The
Lord is a man of war.
No, a man of peace.
A man of war.
A man of hugs and kisses.
A man of war.
Soft and effeminate.
A man of war.
The
Lord is his name.
The Lord is a man of war. And you better damn well know it, okay? The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. We know he's a man of war because he set us up to be warriors, okay? He causes wars. He sends us to war. All right? So you have to prepare for war. Why? Because life is all about warfare. That's what you're doing every day. You fighting yourself. You fighting these demons. You fighting your oppressor, okay? And if you're not, then you just going along with stuff all willy-nilly. Give me Exodus 2. and 24.
Book of Exodus, chapter 2, and verse 24. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob.
You see, God heard their groaning, okay? And it says God remembered his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. See, the God of Israel loves and respects the children of Israel, okay? He don't let no other nation, like he don't love no other nations. It says, you know, he remembers the God of our fathers loves us, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He loves Israel, the nation of Israel. We are his people. That's why I said we are supposed to be unto a special people unto him. And since he don't love no other nation and only loves us, when we come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, he is going to pull us out of this captivity. Continue reading.
Verse 25. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them.
And having respect to them, it means he's going to pull us out of this captivity. Okay? That's what we need. Who needs saving? Go back to 24. Go back to 24.
Verse 24. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob.
That's who needs saving. You know, these seeds from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? These 12 tribes, that's who needs saving. Okay? Our babies down at the border, our Issacharites down at the border, all right, that's who needs saving, right? Our Judites and Benjamites in the ghetto, the Levites in the ghetto, that's who needs saving, right? Okay? None of these other nations, they don't need saving. Why? Because they're under their umbrella. You have your oppressor at the top and the rest of them at the bottom. Give me that. Where is that at? Give me Psalms. We'll go 83 and 1. Yeah, give me that.
Book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1.
Yeah, but let me get there real quick. Let me jump there with you. Okay. Well, let me click it like this so I quit jumping over it. All right, you got it, warrior.
Book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1. Keep not thy silence. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God.
All right, stop right there. What's that mean? What's that mean? Keep not that silence, hold not that peace. Go ahead.
I guess he's talking about going to war, I guess.
Well, he's talking to the Most High, though. He's saying, keep not thou peace. Keep not thou silence, hold not that peace. Meaning, basically, what we just read, deliver us. Like, don't hold back. When my oppressor comes to harm me, when the enemy of you comes and is an enemy of me, you know, don't let him prevail. Hold not your peace. Okay, hold not your silence. Keep not thy peace. Continue reading.
Verse 2. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up thy head.
For thy enemies make a tumult. Okay? They make a tumult like something like a ditch for you, or something surrounding you like a ditch, something you could fall in, like a snare in a trap. They make a tomu. Okay, where we it said, and they that hate thee lifted up thy head. That's what they do. They hate the children of Israel and they lift up thy head. That's why they look at us like we are so low, like we are lower than they are. You know, these other nations will look down on you. Have you ever worked with an Asian? They will go on lunch and eat cat, rat, and dog and look down on you. You know, like their food stinks and they'll look down on you like you're a piece of garbage. You know why? Because you don't have no nation. You don't know who you are. You were lost. How could you find out who you are when you're working 80 hours a week? When do you have time to know that you an Israelite? Okay, you have to you have to make time to learn who you are. These other nations know who they are. That's why they look down on you as well, because they can go back to their grandfather, and I mean trace it back for years and years and years and years. Your daddy done lived in apartment 3B your whole life, and you never met the nigga. Okay? Continue reading.
In verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel.
They have
against
what?
Thy people. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
See, they're crafty when they deal with you. They're crafty. You ever see their ads? You ever see a television ad? It's crafty, right? You see the way they set it up? You see the way they promote certain things to our community? It's very crafty, okay? It's very sneaky. It's all set up behind the scenes, and they do an excellent job of executing it. And we fall right in the traps because they take crafty counsel. Continue.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And not only do they take the crafty counsel, they consult about it. They're going to talk about this. They're going to delegate. And they're going to say, how are we going to get them today? What we going to do today? All right. They are figuring these things out, and they are putting these processes and implementing these plans, and they're set up years in advance for everything they're going to do. Why else would they teach your children the ABCs? Okay. Why else would they tell you not to call your son or daughter a son or daughter until they're 4, when they're able to choose, when they can pick if they want to be a boy or a girl? Well, to me, you're just setting them up for pedophilia, because if you say they can pick if they want to be a boy or girl, if they have the mind and capacity to do that, you're going to say, well, they have the mind capacity to say if they want to have sex with me or not. And that's why we have to watch out, because they have consulted together. Okay, they came against us and they took in crafty counsel. Continue reading.
Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
They said what?
Come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
African American. Continue.
Cut them off from being a nation.
Native Indian.
Cut them off from being a nation.
Puerto Rican.
Cut them off from being a nation.
Jamaican.
Cut them off from being a nation.
Continue.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That the name of Israel will be no more in remembrance. They still do this to today, right? Because Kanye and Kyrie got ostracized for saying this. Okay? You seen what they did to Nick Cannon before, right? They make sure that the name of Israel is cut off. That you can be anything you want to be, but you cannot be a Israelite. Okay? Hold where you at, Yaganan? Young man, give me Jeremiah.
Is it still there, other one?
Yeah, I'm here. Give me Jeremiah 50 and verse 6.
This is the book of Jeremiah 50 and verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray.
All right, stop right there. Hold on. My shepherds have been lost sheep. Okay, we are lost. That's why Christ had to come for the lost tribes of the house of Israel. Okay, continue.
Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place.
They have forgotten their resting place. We forget who we are. We forgot that we have a Lord that we are supposed to serve. We forgot that we were a nation. We forgot that we was the greatest nation on the earth and still are. Continue reading.
Verse 7. All that found them have devoured them. And their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord. The habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers.
You see, and we got to understand that the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom, we are oppressed together. Okay, our oppressor, they don't give a damn. They oppress all of us. Okay, and it's because we don't follow these laws, these statutes, and these commandments. All right. Drop down to 33.
Verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captive. The children of Israel.
Read that one more time. Read start from the top.
Verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together.
You see, we were oppressed together. The Southern Kingdom, the house of Judah, and the Northern Kingdom, the house of Israel, Ephraim, Blacks and Hispanics were oppressed together because we are both in the same condition. The shepherds who were supposed to guide us are the Christian pastors. And that's the reason we're in the condition we're in, because of poor Christian leadership, which if you get counsel from them now, you're going to get poor Christian leadership. They're leading you to eat shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. That's poor Christian leadership. They're allowing you to do whatever manner of sin that you want to do because that's poor Christian leadership. And our oppressor oppresses us, and then they'll say it's not their fault because the children of Israel disrespected their God. So they turned around and they just blame everything they do on us. But what they need to understand is, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, they will be cut off. Okay? All that stuff, all the times they trying to cut us off of being a nation by killing us 100 miles per hour, we are going to cut them off from being a nation. Okay? We are going to have the everlasting rulership on this earth. All right? Not our oppressors. Okay? Yaganan, you go back and pick it up at Psalms 83.
Verse 5.
And verse 5.
Psalm chapter 83 and verse 5. When they have consulted together with one consent, they were confederate against thee.
They were confederate against thee. What is that? That means they coming together against you together under Confederate. You remember the Confederacy here in America? Okay. They're coming as you as a Confederate. They're coming as an army to get you. That means they're planning, they're plotting, they're getting intel, they're doing research. What are you doing? Playing Madden? What are you doing? Watching Love and Hip Hop? Arguing with your girl? What are you doing? Getting to the money? Is you out there on the block? You bleeding the block? Okay. Read that one more time.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent.
They consulted together. Hold on. They consulted together with one consent. Here in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, we are one. We are confederate in here. We are under one consent. And we are under the leadership of Commanding General Yohana. Okay? And under this banner, we are confederate. Okay? And we are of one consent. I pray you understand. Continue reading.
They are confederate against thee. Verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles. Hold on. The tabernacles of Edom. Okay. That's Esau and these Edomites. All right. That is your so-called oppressor. Continue.
And the Ishmaelites.
The Ishmaelites. That is the Arabs.
Of Moab.
Okay. Of Moabs. Okay. That is the Chinese. Continue.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes. Okay. Hamites. All right. Continue.
Verse 7. Gebal. And Ammon.
And
Amalek. The Philistines.
And Amalek, who is the so-called Jew. Hold on. The so-called Jew is Amalek. Okay. The Philistines. Okay.
Come. The Philistines, but the inhabitants of Tyre. Verse 8.
Tyre. All right. Give me Exodus 7. Give me Exodus 17 and 14. Hey, young man, you go ahead and get this for me. Exodus 17 and 14.
Come. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 17 and verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for memorial in a book and rehearse it.
Hold on. It said, and the Lord said to Moses. The Lord is a man of war, okay? It said, and the Lord said to Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, okay? And you know what? A lot of those Pan-Africans, you know, who think they got all the high science and knowledge, they always say the Bible ain't even in the Bible. But all through the Bible, we see people recording records in a book, scribing. Okay, that's what people fail to understand. All right, we kept records. All right, continue reading.
Come. Verse 14, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
You see, he's going to destroy them. I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek under heaven. Continue reading.
Verse 15, and Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. Verse 16, for he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek.
The Lord will
generation to generation.
No, the Lord will what?
War with Amalek.
He's going to have peace. He's going to have peace with Amalek.
Will have war with Amalek.
He's going to have a covenant with Amalek.
Will have war.
Continue.
With Amalek. From generation to generation.
No, just one generation.
From generation to generation.
maybe just a couple generations.
From generation to generation.
From generation. That's why you get looked at insane, okay, for calling at you like you were crazy, all right, for calling yourself a Jew. Kyrie and Kanye got ostracized for calling themselves a Jew, for proclaiming to be Jews. One more time.
God will come, verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
You see,
verse
the Lord makes war with your enemies, okay? Because the Lord is a man of war, all right? And with life being about warfare, you know, when you see the conditions of your people, when you start understanding exactly what's happening and what's going on, and that there are solutions to fix it, and people are just unwise and unlearned, all right, it makes you angry because you start realizing that you are oppressed. Give me Ecclesiastes. We'll go 7. We'll go 7 and 7. No. First, give me 7 and 1.
Ecclesiasticus or Ecclesiastes?
Ecclesiastes 7 and 1.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 1. A good name is a precious ointment.
A what?
A good name is better than precious ointment.
A good name is better than precious ointment. Your name being something that you could stand on, your name being strong and honorable, oh, that's better than precious ointment. It's better than all the gold and silver. It's better than selling yourself for less. Okay, continue reading.
And the day of death than the day of one's birth.
You see, your day of death is better. That's why we don't celebrate birthdays. And you should mourn bringing a child into this earth. Okay? Instead of, it's hell on earth for us right here. Okay? It's better. It's better. Let me go back. It's better to have a good name. Okay? And the day of your death is better than the one of your birth. Being born in this hell under your oppressor. Okay? Drop down to 7.
Verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
You see, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. When you start figuring out what's going on, when you start seeing what happened to your people and what's continuing to happen right under our noses, you get mad. You get angry. Okay? And why? Why do you get angry? Why do you get mad? Why do you get mad? It says it right there.
Oh, that's a question?
He said, I said, it says, all right, it says, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, right? Why do you start to get mad? Why do you start to get mad?
Probably because I would say that in my own opinion, that because since you are a wise man, that you know what's going on.
That's because you're getting wiser and wiser, and you're learning more. Because oppression maketh a wise man angry. Continue reading.
Time will come, and the gift destroyeth the heart.
And the gift destroys the heart. Okay? What gifts do they give you? They're going to give you some TANF, some food stamps. might give you a little job. Hell, might give you something. Might make you the CEO of their company. And what do? Do you hire blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? Hell no. You take that money, you move out the ghetto, and you damn sure don't invite them into your slavery because you honor this job. You know why? Because this job is a gift, and that gift will destroy your heart. We just talked about Esther at the Feast of Purim, right? And how she helped save the nation, okay, with her power, with her position. What will you do with your position? So a gift destroyeth the heart. When you'll take that gift and then you'll start to want to oppress your people. When you start taking on other people's customs and philosophies, you will start to do what they do with their customs and philosophies, which is oppress you. Didn't Psalms just say that they take crafty counsel? So if they take crafty counsel, okay, against us, what do you think those gifts are for? Thanksgiving was a gift. And then what did they do? They slaughtered our brothers and sisters. You got to watch out for these gifts that they give you. Why? Because a gift destroyeth the heart. All right. Let's get 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 18.
Come. This is the book of 1 Samuel.
The spirit of Israel. This is the spirit of us. Okay, we just built different. Go ahead.
Come. This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 16 and verse 18. Then answered one of the servants and said, Behold, I have seen a son of Jesse, the Bethlehemite, that is cunning and plain.
Hold on.
Valiant.
It says, I done seen the son of Jesse, the Bethlehemite. All right. This is talking about David. Okay. It says that is cunning in play. You know how it is with us. It says cunning in play and a mighty valiant man, a man of war. That is us right there. Okay. We are cunning in that play. That's why we always like to wrestle around, right? That's why when you're young with your mama always gets, y'all sit down up there. Y'all quit doing this, because we always wrestling and fighting because our spirit is warriors. Okay? Go ahead, continue.
Verse 18. And a man of war. And prudent matters, and a comely person.
You see, hold on. It says, and prudent in all matters, right? Okay. And a comely person. So he looked good. Prudent means, like shrewd in his affairs. Like somebody give me a definition.
Definition for what?
Prudent. Okay.
Prudent definition.
Yep.
Prudent definition: acting with or showing care and thought for the future.
Okay. And this right here. All right. Being wise, being judicious. Okay. Being cautious, being discreet. Like he knew how to move. All right. A comely person. That means he looked good. Okay. And the Lord was with him. Go to verse 19.
Verse 19. Wherefore Saul sent messengers unto Jesse and said, Send me David thy son, which is with the sheep.
Continue.
Verse 20. And Jesse took an ass laden with bread and a bottle of wine, and a kid, and sent them by David, his son, unto Saul.
All right. Hold on, let me see. Let me back up out of here and let me see. Because we about to jump up off that. Let me see. Read 18.
Verse 18.
Hold on.
Then
Actually, just the Lord commanded thee. Hold on, Salakia. Where was we at?
First Samuel chapter
18?
16, verse 20.
All right, no, we're gonna drop that. Yeah, I don't need no more on that. But David was cunning. You know what I mean? He was cunning in war. He was a man of war. Okay. That David was a man of war, just like the Lord is a man of war. Ever since he was a kid. Okay. We was able to see that. Now let's go to Nehemiah. Ooh-wee. Now Nehemiah was definitely a man of war. Okay? Definitely. Start at 19 so we can get some understanding.
Khan, this is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 13 and verse 19. And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut and charged that they should not be open till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants said I at the gates, that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day.
Okay, so these gates is closed. It's the Sabbath. There's not going to be a whole bunch of business and transactions and all these things coming on. All these people coming over to sell stuff in your neighborhood. Okay, everybody, just like today, everybody comes to sell things in your neighborhood, right? See where you're getting gas from, your clothes from, your food from. Okay, continue reading.
Come, verse 20. So the merchants, sellers of all kind of ware, lodged
hold on. It says, so the merchants and sellers of all kind. Okay, that's what they do. That's what we have in our communities today. You think it was different back then? You think it was different back then? But no. These it says, so merchants and sellers of all kind. Continue.
Come, verse 20. So the merchants and sellers of all kind of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice.
Okay.
Verse 21.
They did this once or twice because Nehemiah was not a prophet to play with. Continue reading, young man.
Come, verse 21. Then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth, they came no more on the Sabbath.
You see? Now let's pick it up from the top and take it slow and break it down. You got it, young man, one more time.
Nehemiah chapter 13 and verse 19.
No, 21.
And it came to pass.
No, 21.
Say it again. Verse 21.
Yep.
Then I testified against them.
Then I testified against them. Hold on. Then I testified against them, meaning I came to holler at them. Hey, I gotta holler at y'all. Okay, continue.
And said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall?
And said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall? Why are you over here merchanting and selling at Israel? This is our Sabbath. How dare you come over here with your with your merchandise and merchants here and in our home with your with your um with your merchandise. How dare you come over here and you merchants are selling and trying to lodge at our wall on the Sabbath day? Okay, continue.
Come. If ye do slack if ye do so again,
If
I will lay
you
hands
hold
on.
on, if you do it again, if you come about here, because he's seen it happen 2 times, and he said, Salakia, I got it. He said, if you do it again, I will what?
I will lay hands on you.
We're gonna talk it out. We're gonna
I
talk it out.
will lay hands on you.
Nah, we going to I'm gonna ask you nicely.
I will lay hands on you.
I told you last time, if you cannot come around here, you see it's the Lord's Day, and can you please? What did it say?
I will lay hands on you.
I will lay hands on you. I will physically lay hands on you, and I will make sure you never come around here again, let alone Sabbath or not. Okay, continue.
From that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath.
Then it come no more on the Sabbath. Okay, then it come no more on the Sabbath. And you see Nehemiah, you see how much of a man of war he is? That he said, nah, this ain't gonna happen like that. We have rules. And that's why we have to stand up for our rules. The rules that people don't adhere to, that they don't understand, that they might not want to listen to, we have to show them our rules, our meanings, our spirit. Okay? We have to be men of war. And just like them prophets back then, them prophets is in the earth today. Okay? And how do we know that? Trooper Yaganan, give me 1 Corinthians 14 and 32.
Makan. 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 32. And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets.
The spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets, meaning them spirits of them prophets, those is the prophets. Those are the prophets who keep re-entering and regenerating in this earth. Because the spirit of the prophets are left of the prophets. And how do we know that the spirit of the prophets are left of the prophets here in the Israelite school of UPK? Let's go back to Nehemiah. And you can start me at the 8th chapter.
Come. What verse do you want?
I want 8 and 1.
Come.
Yep. Right there. Hold on. Let me say another thing. This is how you know that the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge is the home of the truth. And we are the only ones who actually do it like the scripture says. Okay? We're about to show you why we hold camp and how to hold camp correctly. Okay? Continue. Go ahead and read Nehemiah.
Come. This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8 and verse 1. And all the people gathered themselves together as one man to the street that was before the water gate. And they spake unto Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moses, which the Lord had commanded to Israel.
You see? So that's what we do. We gather out there in the streets, okay, as one man. When you see the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, all right, out there holding camp, you know who's all a part of us and who's not. These fake camps hold camp. I don't know them from the nigga off the street. They look absolutely no different. They look just like everybody else out there, dressed like everybody else out there. But when you see these men of war, you know they are different. You know they are all together, and they don't look like anybody else. And that's us here in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Okay? It said we gather as one man in the street before the water gate. Okay? And spake unto Ezra, the scribe, to bring out the laws of Moses, for which the Lord has commanded us. What are we out there teaching y'all? The laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. Continue reading.
Come, verse 2. And Ezra the priest brought the law before the congregation, both of men and women, and all that can hear with understanding, upon the first day of the 7th month.
You see, and Ezra that priest, he got out there and he brought the law to the congregation. When we out there, we are bringing the law to the congregation of Israel. We are out there trying to wake up the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, both men and women. Okay? And all that can hear would understand. All right? Verse 3.
Come, verse 3. And he read therein before the street, that was before the water gate, from morning until midday, before the men and the women.
Hold on. We out there holding camp, out there, hours and hours and hours, waking up our people. Continue reading.
Verse 3. And he read therein before the street, that was before the water gate, from the morning until midday, before the men and the women, and those that can understand, and the ears of all the people that were attentive unto the book of the law.
And the ears of all the people who were attentive. All right? Just like when you at camp and you speaking. Some people are attentive. Some people ain't just cracking jokes and smiling and laughing and thinking everything is a damn game. You know? All of us in here were attentive. All of us in here are in the Israelite School of UPK were men and women that could understand, and our ears were attentive unto this book of the law. We heard this, and when we heard it, we said, "Oh, good night. I better get on board." Okay, some things you just better get on board. Okay, continue reading verse 4.
Come, verse 4. And Ezra the scribe stood upon a pulpit of wood.
Hold on. And Ezra the scribe, he stood up on that pulpit of wood. That pulpit of wood, we stand up on it every camp. Young man and trooper, y'all are on it all camp. Y'all hold down the pulpit. Did it say that the pulpit was in the building where your pastor puts his 3 scriptures on? Did it say that? Is that the pulpit where he's up there and he's yes, and I want to tell you when that God talked to me and said, "Give me all your damn money because my car notes due." You idiots. Okay? That's why when the pastors don't get no money, they get extremely mad. But this says a pulpit of wood. And that's not that little stand made of wood that they, with that little glass barrier that they put their 3 scriptures. That's not that. The pulpit of wood is what you see us standing on every camp. And the reason we have it, why, is continue.
Verse 4, which they had made for the purpose.
Which they have made for what?
The purpose.
For the purpose. It's only for that. That is the only reason why we have it. Is to come out there and wake up our people. looking for the people who have attentive ears that can hear and a mind that could understand. Okay? And continue reading.
Will come, verse 4. And beside him stood Mattathiah and Shema and Ananiah and Urijah and Hilkiah and Messiah on his right hand, and on his left hand Pedaiah and Mishael and Micaiah and Hashum and Hashbaddanah, Zechariah and Meshullam.
And you see that? And y'all like to all these prophets are just so far and separate from each other. It says Ezra right there with Zechariah, right? And Ananiah, Elijah, and just like we out there now. Because how are we out there? We out there is Captain Yatazak, Officer One Ya'ala, Officer Nakwa, Officer Razan, Officer Gadawan, Officer Tamakia, Officer Yahaj, and it goes all the way, you understand? So this is what we do is biblical. Even though people look at you like you're an idiot, even though they look at you like you're crazy, like you shouldn't be doing what you're doing what the priests and prophets did in the Bible. They didn't put on a 3-piece suit and tie and go sit in some building, okay, flopping on the floor like a damn fish, okay? They got to cover up. Just think of that. You go to church every Sunday. Hold on, let me go where y'all can see me, Christians. You go to church every Sunday. A husband will go with his wife. His wife catches the Holy Ghost every Sunday. But what does she decide to wear? A skirt or a dress? If you're going to be rolling on the floor, why didn't you put on some damn pants? Okay? So you out there, and what do they got to do? They got to come cover you up with this blanket. You know how much tell I seen in church from the Holy Ghost? I used to go to see some of them grown ladies. Couldn't wait for some of them grown ladies to catch the Holy Ghost with that thing flopping everywhere. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to see that tail today. Okay? When it's all manner of nonsense. All right? Where are we at?
Verse 5.
Go ahead. You got it.
God will come, verse 5. And Ezra opened the book in the sight of all the people, for he was above all the people.
See, hold on right there. Hold on. And Ezra opened the book in the sight of all people. That's what we do, right? We don't just open it in front of our people. We open we open this book of the law in front of all people. Okay? In front of everybody. And then it said, for he was above all people. Why is he above all people? For one, he's definitely outranking them, but he's above all people because he's standing on that pulpit of wood. Continue reading, young men.
Verse 5. And when he opened it, all the people stood up.
You see? And when we open it, people stand up. People be sitting down the whole time we setting up camp, right? As soon as Officer Nakwa stands up there and says, Shalom, Israel. We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the Commander General Yohana. Oh, people start standing up. They start being attentive, okay? And we are doing this because we are men of war. That's why we are out there going to war at camp. Every camp is a war. It's not a playground. And we must treat it like that. Okay? We must treat it. And it's like, I understand you out there, you seeing your brothers, you around the people that you love the most. So yeah, it's hard not to get laxed. It's hard not to be relaxed when you're around people you trust, because that is human nature. But you got to understand, at camp, we are at war, and you don't never know the opposition. You don't know. Okay, like Officer Wanyala told me, he's like, them neo Nazis, they smart. They're not just gonna stand out there ready to attack you. Like he said somebody's gonna be in the hotel. They'll be looking down and they'll be like, all right, they're starting to come out. All right, yeah, a couple of them pulled up. All right, they're getting camp set up. All right, they're all out here. Let's go. And they will coordinate it. Okay, so that's why we have to listen to the men above you. Like, we do have an excellent camp leader who be giving us excellent knowledge. Okay, and when he tells you something, I suggest you listen. Him and Cap tell me something, I just know I know it's the truth. I know what he's saying is something I need to very well pay attention to, because he's going to put something in my ear that I didn't even think of. Okay? And that's how you get wiser. And that's how you be a man of war. And that's how you hold camp and be able to build your nation. Continue reading.
Khan, verse 6. And Ezra blessed the Lord, the great God.
No, Ezra blessed himself.
And Ezra blessed the Lord, the great God. And all the people answered, Amen, Amen, with lifting up their hands. And they bowed their heads and worshiped the Lord with their faces to the ground.
Continue reading.
Verse 7.
Actually, you could come up off that. Let's get Ezekiel. Yeah, you can come up off that. We're gonna come up off that. We'll get Ezekiel 37:9.
Khan, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 9. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord God, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain.
Hold on, Salaki, hold on one
that
second.
they may live.
Hold on 1 second, young man. Let me get there with you, Salaki. All right, go ahead, pick it up from the top.
Khan, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 9. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind.
Yep.
Prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord God, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live.
You see, and that's why we prophesy to the wind. All right, if we at camp and not one person walks by, do you think we're gonna stop teaching? Do you think if the streets is empty, we're gonna stand there and say, well, there's nobody here? You know why we're going to? I don't give a damn if it's 0 people or 1 million people. I'm going to speak, because the Bible right here, it tells me to prophesy to the wind. All right? Let the wind carry your damn word. Why you think we teach class? You think I give a damn if it says 0 people watching the stream? You don't ever know who's at a slavery or who's going to see this video. So you teach it anyway. You prophesy to the wind like a good soldier of God. Continue.
Khan, verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me. And the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
Read that from the top again, and let's take this one very slow, because it's super heavy, and I need to make sure people catch some of these points. Go ahead.
Verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me.
So I prophesied as he commanded me. He told me to prophesy to the wind. I'm out here speaking to the wind. And it's carrying and it's traveling, and people are waking up and hearing what I'm saying. Continue.
Verse 10. And the breath came into them.
What came into them? Lived. Hold on. And what came into them?
The breath.
And the breath came into them. What is the breath?
The spirit.
What is the spirit? What is the spirit of God?
Christ.
What can you do what do you do that we know you're in the spirit? All right, let me put it this way: the spirit of homosexuality is to do what homosexuality acts, right? The spirit of gangbanging is to do gangbanging acts, right? So what would be the spirit of God? How do we know if you're in the spirit of God? What do you do that lets me know you're in the spirit of God?
I don't want.
Go ahead, Trooper.
Your behavior, keeping the commandments, keeping the laws.
The laws, statutes, and commandments. That is that breath of life. Okay. All right. Continue reading.
Verse 10. And they lived and stood upon their feet.
And they lived because death. So if you get these laws, statutes, and commandments, then you can live and not die. Continue.
And stood upon their feet.
Continue reading.
An exceeding great army.
An exceedingly great army. That's what we are. And hold on, no, we done with that. But Trooper, I want you to get Genesis, because it just said right there. So I prophesied, he commanded me, and the breath came into them, right? Ooh, let me, just add another precept to. Let's add another precept to it. All right, give me Genesis 2:7.
Book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 7. And the Lord God formed a man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
Continue.
And man became a living soul.
That's exactly how you read that. How you just read that, Trooper, that was excellent. Those are the points you're supposed to excel on. You see that in the Lord formed God, in the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
All
right, now read where you was just at, young man.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 10. Salaki in verse 9. So I prophesied.
No, verse 10.
Yeah,
verse 10.
So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
Do you see the breath of life? Did he breathe into them and they just came alive? That's why you need understanding. All right. A surgeon, you can't pick up no book on surgery, read it, and then go do surgery, right? You have to be taught, right? You have to be taught these scriptures. You have to be taught the Bible for damn sure before you can understand it. And you can't teach until you can understand. It's a long process. It's long, it's lengthy, and it's hard. But here in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, you will get it. All right. Give me Matthew. Matthew chapter 10. Let's get a little bit of Yahawashai, okay? Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. We're going to go to 10 and we're going to start at 34. And Trooper Yaganan, I'm going to have you pick this up.
10 and 34.
Con.
Chapter 10 and verse 34.
Hold on. Before you start, hold on, let me see. All right, no, not yet. I don't need that. Young man, if you could get Romans 9 and 3 for me. And just hold that. All right, you got it, Yaganan.
Chapter 10 and verse 34. Book of Matthew. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword.
You see, Christ said that think not that he's come to set peace on earth. He don't come to bring peace, but a sword. He's going to have a vesture of blood. Okay? Understand that. Continue reading.
Verse 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Verse 36. And a man's foe shall be they of his own household.
This is why we can't get our household in order, some of us men. The men that's not in the Israelite school of UPK. You can't figure out how to get your house in order because you don't know what's happening to you. Continue reading.
Verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
You see that? You see that? Because why? Because people can lead you astray and off the path. And that's why you can't love anything more than the Most High. Because if you love the Most High more than anything, then you can give your daughter. Hold on, let me go back to that. It says, he that loveth his father or his mother, more than me is not worthy. Him who loveth his son or daughter more than me is not worthy. Because if you love something more than you love the Lord, then you will take care of that and that only. But if you taking care of things under the Lord's love, then you can really take care of it. Under the Lord, I can take care of my family better than if I'm just focusing on if I just love my mama. I just love my mama so much. How about I love the Lord and get to generate that love to my mother through the Lord? Think how much more I really could love her. Because when you love something so much, you might if you love your daughter more than the Lord, you might say, okay, I love her so much, I want her to be happy, so maybe it's okay that she's a whore. If you love your son so much, maybe it's okay that he's a gangbanger. Okay? So we got to understand that. Continue reading.
Verse 38. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me.
You got to take up your cross. There's going to be trials and tribulations. You're going to have to take up that cross. 39.
Verse 39. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it.
You see that? That is what we have to do. You have to die. You have to kill the old you. Okay? Give me loot. We're going to end that loot. If y'all want the whole breakdown, contact me, and I will give you the whole breakdown.
Come.
down, but for time's sake, we're not going. You know, this is One West. One West has all the precepts, so it's a lot. You know, a fake Israelite, they're gonna get through all their precepts real quick. But here in the Israelite school of UPK, we have the whole Bible, okay? From Genesis to Revelations, with the Apocrypha where it's supposed to be placed, okay? Right after Malachi, right before Matthew. Everybody understands. All right. Whoever got this can go ahead.
Which chapter and verse?
Luke 19 and 21. Actually, hold on. I want the trooper to read this. And young man, can you pull a definition or no?
Come on.
Pull the definition of austere. Trooper, I'm Salakia. Actually, young man, you read this. Trooper, you pull the definition of austere.
Come.
And if you need the spelling, let me know and I will get it to you. Because people have a lot of misconceptions on Christ. And this is the number one problem. Because you think Christ is just so loving and peaceful, and he wore a toga and he smoked reefer and he drank a cup of wine, and y'all make Christ out to be some homosexual. When Christ was a goddamn austere man. When Christ was a man of war. Do y'all understand what it means to go to war? People die at war. People lose their lives at war. Mothers have lost sons. Fathers have lost daughters. Because America will send any goddamn person to war. We would never send our woman to war. But your oppressor, he will send your woman to war at 100 miles per hour. But you better damn well be a man of war. Especially if you want this kingdom. Because it's going to come with a fight. You got that, young man? Luke 19 and 21.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 19 and verse 21. For I feared thee, because thou art an austere man.
Stop. For I fear thee, because they are an austere man. Trooper Yaganan, get the definition of austere.
Austere. Severe.
Severe. Hold on. We're going to take it word by word. Severe. Christ was severe. Continue.
Strict.
Strict. Oh, we're going to see if it says loving, caring, loves everybody. We're going to see all that damn nonsense. Continue.
In manner.
In what?
In manner.
Continue.
Attitude.
And what?
Attitude.
You know how we are. Who is you talking to, homie? What is you talking about, boy? Continue.
Appearance.
What is it?
Appearance.
Hard appearance. Continue.
That's it. I got another definition. It says stern.
Yep.
And cold.
Yep. Hold on. Stern. He's firm. Like Captain Yatazak. That's what Yatazak means. Firm. He's firm. You know? Continue.
And cold in appearance.
Cold. They always say that, brother, why you look so cold? Why you got that evil look on your face? Why you? Because I'm cold, because I'm austere. I'm not safe to do anything around. Continue reading.
All manner.
Uh-huh.
Coming out of one color.
Go ahead, young man. Continue reading.
Khan, verse 21. For I feared thee, because thou art and art still a man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest thou did not sow.
And we see that, right? Because he died for all of us. And we sinned and sinned and sinned and sinned. And he did it. Okay? Continue reading.
Khan, verse 22. And he saith unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow.
You see, Christ died for a whole nation, and he did nothing wrong. But we did. So you better damn well understand that. Okay? Any questions?
No, I don't.
All right, we'll give a second. If y'all got any questions, go ahead and chat them in the chat, and we'll give you about 35 seconds to Salakia. No. Because what we got to do, man, we got to understand that life is about warfare and nothing else. You are at war. Even if you don't believe you're at war, you are at war. And your ops is not the same people who look like you fighting over streets that we don't own. And we have to really realize that. Okay? Because it is necessary that we realize that we stand on something. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, it no longer shall we be at the bottom. It's time to rise up. Okay? We are the princes of the power. That's why we say Kwam Yasharala, which means rise, Israel. Because we need to rise. We need an awakening. It is high time that we wake up out of sleep. And we've been lost too long. And we're with the Israelite school of UPK, with these priests and prophets on the earth, you definitely can find your way home. Like you see us on this panel. We found our way home. And we are ready for war, and we are hardcore, and we are built for it. So this nation better damn well get ready. You know, gird your loins, because it's real out here in the field. Okay?
Cool.
All right, with that, we're going to Amadio.
I don't want security announcements.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. We'll do that first. Go ahead, Salakia.
ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. This is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment. Numbers, chapter 11, verse 21. Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school.
Hold on. Where's the upcoming holy convocations?
Upcoming holy convocations.
All right, upcoming holy convocations. All right, it's the Passover, the 14th day of the first month, which will be Sunday, April 1st, 2023, Raleigh, North Carolina. Be there. Okay. All right. And we'll find this in Exodus 12, chapter 12, verses 1 through 51, Leviticus 23, Leviticus chapter 23, verses 4 through 5, 1 Corinthians, okay, chapter 5, 7 through 8, and 2 Corinthians chapter 30, verse 17. Okay, continue, young man.
If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, scarf.
All right, everybody's going to Imagium. We're going to turn and face the east. We're going to get the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Okay? Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kadash.
Kodash.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Shabka.
Shamka.
Ayah. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakwaka.
Malakwa.
Tabaya.
Tabaya.
Ratazayaka.
Ratazayaka.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Aisha.
Asha.
Ba'arataza.
Ba'aza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Haya.
Hayah.
Bashamayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Nathan Lanawa. Lakal. Call. Yawam. Wasalaki Nawa.
Wasalaki.
Kabawati Nawa.
Kabawati.
Kasalaki Nawa.
Kasalaki.
Kabawati Nawa.
Kabawati.
Wala Slakia. Wahala. Hold on, Salakia. All right. Taba Nawa. Laka. It's like a Banasaya one.
Banasaya.
Abal. Hawashai Nawa.
Hawashai. Ayan.
Rai. Taya. Laka.
Come.
Amalakwa.
Amalak.
Wahala.
Wahala.
Wahata Parath.
Wahata Parath.
Walayim.
Walayim. Aman.
In the English. Our Father.
Our Father.
In heaven.
Which art
Give
in
us
heaven.
this day
Give us this day
our daily bread.
our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts.
And forgive us
As we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
Lead us not into temptation.
And
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us
For thine is the kingdom.
Kingdom.
And the power. And the
the
glory.
power. And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it.
All right, men of Israel, we're going to turn. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the teacher. Okay? Men of Israel, Majim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahashah Brakathum. Okay? Yajamata. Put your hand down. Yajamata. All right, we're going to turn, Sarah, face the sisters. All right, men of Israel, Majim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak,
Yahweh Shemar
Shimmy Shah.
Washim Yahusha.
Class dismissed. Clap it up.